Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land upon which the 5 Griffith University campuses are located and pay my respects to the past, present and emerging. Before we start, let me ask you a question. Who are you? I want you to take a second and write down your answer. Hi everyone, my name is Lexi and today I'm going to be delving into the concept of identity and focusing on how identity associates with the Indigenous ways of being, knowing and doing. To illustrate this concept, I'll be using the work of Aboriginal artist Black Douglas. The piece I have chosen to represent identity is titled 3 Strikes, You're Out. So identity, what is it? And why is it so important to Indigenous people? Well, our identity is defined by our characteristics, our surroundings, our culture, family, morals, and our appearance. But if we were to dive deeper into our identity, we would recognise that it is a representation of our self-concept. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people identify themselves in a complex and diverse way. They do not define themselves based on their skin colour or their appearance, but instead their community, family, language, and their cultural beliefs. The importance of identity is significant in holding historical knowledge, cultural beliefs, and the recognition of self-worth. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples use the expression of art and dance to represent their identity, their culture, values, and beliefs. By exploring the hidden history of this land, we can delve into Black Douglas's artwork and understand the history through the eyes of the Indigenous people. Do you know any Indigenous Australians who express their life through artwork? Let's write them down too. Aboriginals place a large emphasis of their identity in the land, family, community, and the language and Indigenous culture. All these elements are interconnected and help us understand the impact that colonisation had on the Indigenous people. The Australian community can be strengthened through understanding the Indigenous culture and their identity. This can be done by educating Australians and removing the myths and stereotypes about Indigenous people. As a result of colonisation, many Indigenous people were robbed of their identity and their culture. This can be seen within Black Douglas's painting. Through this presentation, I will reflect on the piece 3 Strikes, You're Out, and educate you on the hidden history of Australia and how it had affected the identity of the first people of this land. Black Douglas is an incredible Indigenous artist who illustrates hidden histories, colonisation, and his emotions through his artwork. In his piece titled 3 Strikes, You're Out, he expresses his emotions about his lifelong frustration of being wrongfully encouraged to embrace the religion of colonialism and white empowering. Black Douglas was disconnected from his identity as a child because he was forcefully baptised and registered to the Church of England as Adam Douglas Hill, instead of being raised with his cultural ways. This was a different upbringing to what his family and community believed, and therefore removed their voice to decide on their family identity. Indigenous people deeply link culture and community in the centre of their beliefs, being brought up on the land and being taught about their elders and about their hidden history. Black Douglas and the Indigenous people of Australia had their identities stolen during the invasion by the British colony. Their community beliefs and religion were speared, forcing the Indigenous people into following the white religion of Christianity. This has been represented by the cross and the word Jesus in the artwork. We can see through Black Douglas's painting that the Aboriginal man is in the place of Jesus and has been pinned back by spears. Spears in the Aboriginal culture are used to kill animals. The symbolism of the spears being used to pin the Aboriginal man can indicate that the white people viewed Aboriginal people as animals. As culture and community is a deep link to Aboriginals' identity, this denotes that the white people disregarded the Aboriginal culture, thus their identity. This art piece symbolises how identity has been stolen and the impact that it has on Indigenous communities and its people. So as educators, we must nurture our students, promote their journey in finding their identity. Within our classrooms, we need to create a third cultural space where identity is affirmed and valued so our Indigenous students trust and are confident in their identity. I hope today you have learnt the importance of our identity and why and how your identity is shaped. Because our identity is who we are, and our history and our future. Thank you.